So yeah, this is gonna be like a little compilation of like all of the tail end of the Jujutsu Kaisen like manga overall. I'm gonna get my thoughts on that, to give my thoughts on different things throughout that. And honestly, just tell me what you guys think of my ever evolving editing style over the years. Let me know honestly. It's in the span of like 10 to like almost 12 months ago, or give and take, of the channel. But yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, by the way, just do me a favor and just like and subscribe, because like you obviously want to be here. But yeah, anyway, peace. Deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. Psalms 82:4. So, Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 267. You know what? Honestly, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Like, honestly, a lot of people had their misgivings about this next chapter and what it may hold, and we're gonna go through it. So, for some freaking reason, we pad the runtime of this chapter with a Gojo flashback. Gege, for the love of God, stop milking this man. He's been dead for over 30 chapters. We do not need. I can never escape this man, no matter what I do, no matter how good I am, no matter how many times I read JJK, I can never escape Satoru Gojo. Moving on. They basically talk about the switch training and the context behind it, and then we move on to obviously the reveal of Nobara. And of course, everyone had their complaints about it. They was all like, oh my god, it's an asshole. You know what's crazy? Believe it or not, I think this makes the most sense. Yuji died twice, by the way. Literally both times, it was through the heart. One time, Sukuna ripped his freaking heart out and threw it on the grass. And then he died. Literally. Then the second time, Yuta stabbed him in the heart and he died. Literally. So like, honestly, this is not like the most craziest thing to happen, like personally, especially since it was a brain, and obviously in real life it is a very, 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 very rare situation, but it is very possible that you can survive. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on the Nobara stuff just to get it out the way. And honestly, I talked to some people, on TikTok and YouTube, and personally, I'm not gonna lie, they called it. They got me, because I was part of the people who say, hey, Nobara's done. She's cooked. She's been gone for so many chapters now. But honestly, you'd think I would have learned my lesson with Toto. But personally, I don't know. I guess personally, call me a cynic. Call me what you will. I did not expect this. This actually threw me for a loop. I'm glad this show was canceled. It's absolute garbage. Star Wars is dead. Damn. I mean, personally, it is. But side note, why are you putting Bible verses in the beginning of your videos? I don't mind it, but I'm curious. Well, I've been a Christian for almost over a year now. In fact, well over a year now. And I simply want to share that even through the darkest times, even through times of like criticism or even good times, that the Lord will always be there. That he will always be there to help you and lift us up. That is why, because it is the one true God that I follow. Amen. Like, personally, I just thought it was going to be another Sukuna Kaisen chapter, respectfully. But not only does Nobara get a reveal and a face reveal, and she gets the fan favorite eye patch. Of course, she gets her residence off, and of course gives Yuji the alley-oop, just as she did way back in Shibuya. So I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed the callback. I enjoyed the fact that she had a part to play in this. Personally, it's not the worst thing in the world, not at all. I think fans are just kind of, I don't know, detached. I don't know, because again, fans were literally calling this an asshole, and I don't see how. Like, this makes sense. Personally, it really does. But moving past the Nobara stuff, we get back to the one you all care about. Yuji and, of course, my glorious King Sukuna having to have the plot. Oh, my boy, like, I just don't understand it. This is so crazy to me. Bro, Sukuna even says, bro, you used up a lot of cursed energy. You're not even using RCT right now because of how much cursed energy your domain is eating up right now. You should be cooked right now. And you are cooked right now. And then, of course, Yuji just ignores everything he's saying. He literally basically just goes, la, 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 la. Yeah, take this dismantle real quick and hold this black flash. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, I love the fact that Yuji is just so determined and quiet right now. He's not even speaking. He's just getting down to business, and we all love to see it. I can't even complain. I really can't. So personally, As far as my thoughts on this chapter, and I guess I can get into my initial thoughts now. I think this chapter, and honestly, I'm not going to hold you, since we are coming to the tail end of JJK, I think I can safely say that this chapter, it gets a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was an entertaining chapter, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this was very entertaining. Like, a lot of the twists and turns. I enjoyed the fact that the intensity of Yuji and Sukuna's battle is really revving up. The art is really going crazy in this chapter, especially with the expressions of, like, everyone's faces. Aside from Nobara's face panel, I don't know why, but this face just doesn't, I don't know. It's something about the way it's illustrated just don't do it for me. But I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Corinthians 9:6. Yeah, right out the gate, I'm just going to say it right now. There's going to be a week break for the next chapter, so I just wanted to point that out before we start the video. All right, let's get into it. So, JJK chapter 268. Anyway, yeah, so we start off this chapter basically opening up with Sukuna basically having a low tier god moment.
You are worthless. Your life literally is as valuable as a summer ant. I'm just gonna stump you. You're gonna keep coming back. I'm gonna seal up all my cracks. You're gonna keep coming back. Why? Because you keep smelling the syrup. You worthless. You're gonna stay on my dick until you die. You serve no purpose in life. Your purpose in life is to be in my stream sucking on my daily.
He's literally gaslighting the lever-loving I can't even talk. Anyway, he's literally gaslighting Megami, basically saying you're worthless, you're trash, every horrible thing that's happened to you has been your fault, and everything about you sucks. Basically spitting facts, basically saying what I've been saying about Megami, literally since the start. And if even the writer is acknowledging this, I'm tired of you comments, and I want formal apologies from every one of y'all from my Megami video. Every one of y'all was hating on me, saying I'm just a hater. So no, I want my apology, and I want it in this comment section. Leave it down below, because I've been saying Megami was a fraud this whole time, and I want my vindication. Moving past this, the chapter itself honestly felt like peak. Literally right after that, like, we have Yuji walking him down, walking Megami's body down, as it's slowly becoming Megami again. Shout out goes to Sammy Lawrence from my Velma video, and it goes as follows. Is getting a freaking Halloween episode. Yeah, honestly, bro, just end the show. She's already cooked. Like, let's just let her stay cooked. But they won't, because, again, the devil likes torturing me. Moving past that. Which is crazy to me, because, like, I'm like, why does Megami have, like, the scars of, like, you know, the remnants of Sukuna's face? Is it because of, like, the intensity of him, like, being in his true form? Like, is that what caused it? Because if that's the case, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Like, it really makes his design look pretty cool, too. I'm not gonna lie. It adds some interest to Megami that's really needed right now, because Megami kind of sucks. He's always sucked. I don't care. Screw y'all. He sucks. Anyway, moving past my Megami slander and agenda. Yeah, Yuji's just been eating these past few chapters. Like, bro, I don't know why. Like, seeing, like, Yuji walk Sukuna down as his body is just, like, not even there. He's just a mass of cursed energy and cursed object. Like, it looks so cool. And then he was like, do you remember what I said to you, Sukuna? I'm like, bro, is he not him? Why is he moving anatomically correct right now? I've never seen Yuji move like this in a minute. Even when he was talking to Sukuna, he wasn't moving with such ferocity. Like, this was crazy. Like, bro, he's so cool in this scene. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a callback to when they were talking in the domain, but, like, bro, everything just feels like it just fits together. That man was like, oh, like, Sukuna had a flashback remembering Yuji, talking about some, oh, release Fujigoro and return to my body. I'm like, bro, are you not him? Is he not him? Bro, this is not the same Yuji I've been hating on. God damn it. Anyway, moving past that. Yeah, honestly, yeah, the chapter, it pretty much ends kind of, sort of. Like, it's just a wrap up of what all. It's just a wrap up of everything that's happened. I don't know what's wrong with me today. It's been going crazy. Like, bro, fans have been losing their mind. They've been saying, oh my God, this chapter's peak or this chapter's ass. It's really, with JJK fans, you can never win. It's either really good or really bad, depending on who you're talking to. But I thought this chapter was amazing. Like, I thought it was freaking phenomenal. Like, I loved it, loved every second, and I will continue to love and glaze every second. This chapter was freaking amazing, in my opinion. Like, bro, the whole. But besides one thing, and I gotta address it, and then I'm gonna leave this video at that. The message that Gojo left everybody, oh yeah, it's wholesome, it's sweet, or whatever. But of course, Gojo and his fans gotta get theirs too by making him literally say this about Toji, talking about some fucking, oh yeah, yo daddy dead, boy. I wiped him out. He's clean, he's cooked, he's washed. Like, Gojo's ghost keeps haunting me every chapter. What? Oh yeah, last but not least, Hakari and Urarame finally had their resolution to their battle, and he just kind of faded away. Yeah, if you care. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. Luke 12:15. So, Gege Akutame. You know, personally, I have no beef with Gege. I really don't. Besides the fact that he killed Chozo. Besides the fact that he had to actually show me Gojo's corpse one last time. All of these things. And besides the fact that he keeps torturing me with Gojo flashbacks. I have no beef with Gege. Personally. I really don't. But I'm not going to hold you. These breaks...
A few minutes later.
These breaks are starting to get annoying, bro. Like, I'm almost at my mental limit. Like, dude, I get it, okay? You're trying to stroke the ego of the show. You're trying to ride out the wave. I get it. It's one of your most claim to fames. I get it, bro. Manga artists be manga artisting. But I can't lie to you, bro. I'm tired. We got 3 more chapters, and we having breaks. Like, why? Like, literally, why? Like, I can't with this, bro. Like, I'm tired of the breaks. I'm tired of the nonchalantness of how he just dropping breaks after break after break. I bet you after the next chapter, he gonna drop another break. He gonna drop another break. I promise. Cause like, this is annoying. Like, it's like every 5 chapters, every 4 chapters, every 3 chapters, there's another break. And I'm just like, at some point, I've had enough. At some point, I'm tired. At some point, I am enraged because I just want the show to end. I want the manga to finally finish and have its grand finale. Because I swear to you, if Gojo Satoru or Satoru Gojo, whatever you want to call this motherfucker, if this nigga comes back the next chapter or the next chapter, I will freaking rage in the streets. Because personally, he deserves death. I promise you, Gojo deserves what he got after that letter he wrote to Megumi. I hope he is rotting in the deepest, darkest depths of hell right now.
A few minutes later.
Screw you, Gojo Satoru. Do you hear me? Screw you. How dare you? Like, I swear Gege does this on purpose. It's like he knows certain fans like are divided when it comes to Toji and when it comes to Gojo, and he just chooses to piss me off. But you know what? It's not about Gojo and Toji fans. I swear this ain't about our beef. This ain't about our beef. I promise. Gojo fans, it's not about us. This is about Gege. I promise. Ain't no need to get in the comments defending your little glorious king, and I won't defend mine personally. I promise. No smoke. At least not this time. I just think that personally, it's crazy that Gege can't control himself. It's like, I don't get it. Like, just end the series already. Like, you had a good run. It's been a great run. Every series has to come to an end. And I love the fact that modern shonen does this thing where they don't stretch it out or they don't try to weed it out any longer than they have to. They pump out the show. They pump out the manga. It's fast enough, it's fast paced enough where the manga and anime can catch up. Like, honestly, the manga of JJK is not too far ahead of the anime. Respectfully, it's really not. And I love that about these new modern shonen. Like, they're able to play catch up perfectly fine. And you could argue that's why the breaks are going on, but Gege ain't that smart. Let's not do this. Gege's doing this on purpose, all right? Either A, he doesn't know how to end the series, or B, the man is riding the wave. And honestly, B seems more likely, if I'm being honest. There's no way he doesn't know how to end the series, respectfully. Like, I don't believe that he's just been doing this off the skirt of his pants. I don't believe he's just doing things just to do things. I think he has a clear roadmap of what he wants and how he wants it, or else his show would be even longer than it already is. I keep calling it a show when it's a manga. But you know what I mean? Show, manga, like, you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, either way, I'm not a fan of the breaks. I've never, like, honestly, I can understand a few extra weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand a few chapters being put on hiatus, being put on hold for like a mental health break after, you know, killing your most lucrative character being Satoru. You know, I can understand that. I could even understand taking a break after the great battle versus Sukuna and, you know, obviously Satoru. So I can understand, you know, having a break after that. But are you serious, bro? The battle's over and we having a break, bro. That ain't even fair, dog. Like, it's not even close to being fair, and I don't know why people are just eating this up. Like, honestly, like, I know this video is gonna basically get like 1 view, so like me making this video basically means nothing. But I just had to air my grievances out, like personally. That's just my take on this. Y'all let me know y'all's in the comments below. Peace. Hot tempers cause arguments, but patience brings peace. Proverbs 15:18. So, Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 270. So, honestly, this chapter had basically nothing going on. It was kind of like a day in the life of Jujutsu sorcerers. And really, it was just a wrap up of everything that happened again. I know it's another wrap up, but hey, we gotta, you know, close all the doors on all the people's story arcs and storylines that everyone had a part of. And it pretty much opens up with the funeral of Sumiki, or, you know, just Megami's sister. It literally got clapped because of the King of Curses rampage, obviously Sukuna. And personally, yeah, it was an interesting conversation between, you know, Megami and Gojo's ex. Like, call it whatever you want, but basically they go over their conversation, and pretty much it's just them giving their condolences in their own way. And yeah, to wrap that part up, we're just gonna breeze past a lot of the important parts because the chapter really wasn't that interesting. Again, we go over a lot of it. Like right now, obviously we have like certain characters like the comedy guy, you know, basically they give a little wink and a nod to the fact that Kinjaku may or may not still be alive, or at least a part of him. I don't know, they block out his face for some reason, even though it's clearly Kinjaku. We go over the fact that, you know, certain characters also, again, still breathing even though they shouldn't be. Obviously Higuruma being the prime example, and of course certain survivors of the Culling Games, they go over what to do about it, and even the aftermath of the Culling Games, such as like, oh, the military and the people who, you know, abducted sorcerers, literally abducting people just because they have like cursed abilities and whatnot. So yeah, that was a whole thing that happened. I know, crazy work. So freaking wild. Like, that really happened, and basically no one was talking about it that much. It was like, oh wow, people getting kidnapped. But again, I understand it's literally a life or death battle for who's gonna survive the Culling Games. So I'm really not mad at people for like just now getting to it, and the higher ups for just now getting to it. I'm really not mad at it personally. It doesn't bother me. They had a lot going on. They had Sukuna on the rampage, etc, etc. So yeah, they go over that. Then we move on to like, you know, just the overall, you know, condition of Tengen's barrier and the remains of Sukuna. They go over going countermeasures and doing all types of contingency plans like they're Batman, trying to figure out how to prevent any more future Sukunas from popping up or any more complications with the barriers in Jujutsu sorcery in general, because the whole Tengen thing is literally up in the air at this point. So they really much just go over that. And then you have some of the surviving members of the old guard, the only person Gojo cared about from the old guard. Forgot his name, but you know, old guy. So yeah, they go over that, and pretty much it goes pretty gently. Personally, it's not too much that goes on with that conversation. Besides this old head talking about some, oh well, y'all are too young to be worried about this. I'm sorry, but we really don't want to hear this right now. Like, it's a little too late for to give the old, oh, you whippersnappers are a little bit too young to be dealing with these type of pressures. Shout out goes out to, yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to try to read that name. 2021 goes as follows. They are just greedy for money and nothing more. Since they don't care about anyone at all, greed is like a virus that is spreading nonstop. 100% agree. This comes from my recent video, by the way. Shout out goes out to you, man. Peace. Yeah, it's way too late for all that considering your occupation. I don't want to hear it. Personally, I hate when these type of stories do this. It's like, bro, you be having teenagers on the front lines and now you care? Like, stop it. Shut up. Anyway, moving past that, man. Yeah, it literally, and then it turns into like a random, like a meta commentary about manga artists and making jokes that are too less than flagrant for the sensibilities of the audience. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's kind of funny. Haha, whatever, I guess. Whatever, not really. Yeah, I always dislike when manga artists do this whenever they try to, you know, talk to the audience. I even hate when, like, you know, Western companies do this. Like Invincible did a similar thing. I didn't like it when they did it because I'm like, we get it. You're lazy and you want to make an excuse for why it's taking too long. Anyway, moving past that, aside from that, Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up the bigger parts of it, besides like a mini side quest that Yuji and his gang go on, as far as like doing small little errands, you know, taking on like jobs and missions for Jujutsu sorcerers and whatnot. Then they go over the fact that, yeah, Higuruma's also, you know, he's basically, you know, an honorary sorcerer, and he's going to be, you know, going on missions and they're going to be worked to the bone. It's interesting for what they're going to make them do. And then they get into the whole reincarnated sorcerers and what they're going to do with them. And it's pretty much like they're up in the air. It kind of reminds me of the Yuji Executioner's arc, where it's like, you don't really know what's gonna happen. You know, they may send people to assassinate him, and even like the samurai guy was speaking about it with Maki. So yeah, it was cool. It was pretty interesting. I will say that, because, you know, who knows, this could be setting up for a season 2 or a what's the word, the Jujutsu Kaisen part 2. So yeah, that'll be cool to see. Aside from that, yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Like, yeah, besides like, you know, the very end of the manga being like, well, they do have one more mission, which leads us into the next chapter of the JJK, which we'll be getting into in the next video. And I'll let y'all know when it comes out, probably like a day after this one. You know how I feel about it. Anyway, peace. The king by judgment establisheth the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthrew it. Proverbs 29:4. So, Jujutsu Kaisen's recent chapter. You know what's funny about this chapter? Personally, I think this is quite literally the most controversial chapter in the entire series, or at least in the Shinjuku district arc, in my opinion. And let me explain why. I think one of the bigger complaints is the fact that Yuta got saved off screen, which is really annoying to me, because I don't know why they didn't just, I don't know, show that. A lot of things in these recent chapters of JJK has been off screen, and I'm not gonna lie, it's annoying. Like, it's not even fun, it's just kind of just lazy, because it shows Gege doesn't really want to take the time to thoroughly get into certain things, whether it be the intricacies of how literally Yuta was able to even get back in his own body. They just hand waved it and Rika or Emoto'd the hell out of it, like, honestly. And it's really annoying, because they didn't even have to do that. They could have just explained that, oh yeah, this is how the technique works, yada yada, quick and easy. But instead, they just do it off screen and then explain it. Like, what? Why? They do this a lot. They did the same thing with Higuruma. They didn't even explain Higuruma just surviving, by the way. Like, he just popped back up, like, randomly. And he was most thoroughly, you know, blicked. He was destroyed. He was cooked. He was greased. He was gone. He did not exist. He was in otherworld. I don't understand why he is even here right now. Like, truly, that is probably one of the most irritating things out of this entire chapter, along with, again, you know, Yuta just being here and it being up in the air onto how. So yeah, personally, I think overall, like, this chapter was just it was kind of bad. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna get so much hate. I can already hear the comments now. They're gonna be hitting me with the
nigga just another hating ass YouTuber, bro. Ain't got no sauce, no.
And honestly, whatever, bro. Cry me a river, please. I don't care. And then we have Maki just ripping into Yuta, and he's just taking it.
Pause.
I'm like, bro, where is your backbone? Like, personally, I already know Yuta's more of the, you know, how you say, docile characters. He's not really one of the most boisterous or rambunctious characters, but I can't stand for my goats Yuta getting talked to like this by Maki of all characters. It's like, I'm sorry, Discount Toji, who asked for your opinion of all characters? Like, you have no curse technique. You're a monkey. You don't get to speak. Like, honestly, monkeys who can't even use Jujutsu should never speak.
A few minutes later.
Stop yapping, like, please. Like, if I'm being real, the entire chapter is literally just Gege coping for the fact that he could have done so much more to end this battle, like, so much faster. And you see that with how the characters interact with one another. First, you have the excuse of freaking Maki being all like, oh, well, you can't really use curse speech, you know, more than one time, or else yada 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 activation. It's like, what? I've seen you use curse speech before. It's just you've used it regularly. I don't understand this. Like, what are we talking about here? And by regularly, I don't mean he doesn't have drawbacks. So please do not do in the comments what y'all always do and hit me with the well, actually, in chapter 3003, yeah, it's not needed. Like, it's really not needed. Trust me, I know. I'm just saying, in general, he uses his curse technique back to back sometimes. Like, literally, just watch JJK 0. Like, what are we talking about? Like, I think the thing that irritates me about the chapter is that everyone's making excuses onto why they fumbled the bag. Like, literally everyone. You have Nanami's Robin to his Batman, you know, talking about some, oh, I could have did more, or it should have been Chozo. Oh, I couldn't save Chozo, coming from, you know, Todo. These names, Todo, Chozo, bro, kill me. And it's just like, bro, come on, bro. just say that you just didn't think of it. Like, it's fine. Like, just make a little tweet, Gege. Yeah, I didn't really think everything through, which is fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Patrick's comment goes as follows. Yeah, I agree. It makes more sense for the X-Men to be in their own separate universe from Marvel. I mean, yeah, mainly for their whole, marginalized racism group thing to make sense. Because if Avengers and humans, etc. exist, it kind of just means nothing at that point. But that's just my take on it. Let me know yours in the comments. Like, I get it, you're struggling to end the series, it's fine, but this is just getting on my nerves, because you're basically saying fans are stupid for coming up with better theories than you are, and they have. If you've been online for anywhere in the past, like, I don't know, let's say 6 months of JJK's releasing serially, you could literally see that fans have come up with greater theories than even Gege himself when it comes to his own series. And it's ridiculous because, like, again, I have to say this almost every JJK video. JJK isn't just this masterclass of top tier 10 out of 10 writing. I think it's just a good story. Like, respectfully, like, it's not like super complex. It's not this intricate world of amazing characters. Like, no, for the most part, I've seen similar characters like, Nobara and a few others, to name a few. Like, it's not really that different. He's just doing it in his own way, personally, in my opinion. But that's just me. And Hikari, I'm sorry. You got some freaking nerve to say that you wanted to help against Sukuna. Most of your crazy strong fight with Urarame was literally off screen. Like, we literally never saw them throw hands in this entire series. Like, not one time have they thrown any significant hands whatsoever. Like, honestly, I hope the anime fixes this, because bro, what are you talking about? It would be nice to see, Urarame at, his peak or whatever, but we never get to see it. We literally never get to see it. And it's annoying to me. I hate it. I hate it more than anything. Like, cause it's like, bro, lazy. Again, this is what I'm talking about. It's just lazy, and people make excuses for this. It's okay to say that Gege isn't perfect. Again, it's just one thing I hate about JJK. It's literally just a fan base, because they will cope about anything and everything that is slightly irritating about the series. I promise you. Go online if you do not believe me. Also, by the way, Meme, put your dogs away. Why are you wearing a fit with your toes out? Like, I don't know if it's just this scene. I don't know if she updated her outfit, but bro, the toes out is crazy. Like personally and respectfully, the toes being out is wicked work. Not gonna lie to you, gang. I don't know. And everyone in the Kyoto school should just shut up. I don't even know why they even in this conversation. Y'all didn't do anything, and I'm glad y'all didn't. Like, this is the one time I'm glad they didn't throw everyone and the kitchen sink at freaking Sukuna, because what would the Kyoto students really accomplish? I don't even know most of their names. I only know Miwa because of memes. Literally. Like, I don't even care about the Kyoto students. Literally. I don't even count Taro as a Kyoto student. To me, he's just a Jujutsu sorcerer. Like, I don't even want to give him the label of a Kyoto student personally, because of the disrespect that goes on with Kyoto is actually crazy work. Diabolical work. Obscene work. Anyway, moving on. Oh, and by the way, Kusakabe is also the head of the new Shadow School, by the way, in case you're wondering. And finally, the rest of the chapter is just pretty much them just gearing up for JJK Part 2. I'm not kidding. They're talking about like there's a war going on that I know for a fact they can't get through in 2 chapters. What are we talking about here? Unless these chapters are going to be like 100 pages long, like unless they're going to just bomb rush it. And I don't think the Gege has it in them anymore at this point. Hast thou not known? Hast thou not heard? That the everlasting God, the Lord, the Creator, the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary. There is no searching of his understanding. Isaiah 40:28. Yo, what is up, everybody? So we're here, the final chapter of JJK. Personally, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for what I'm gonna say. Maybe, maybe not. It depends on how this goes. So for me, I think this was the best episode or the best chapter of JJK, and here's why. After the giant freaking culling games, after the Shibuya incident, I think it's important to wind down sometimes after a giant climactic arc. I don't think it needs to be this big giant thing. Again, I do have my complaints with this now that this is officially the final chapter. For one, the whole Kinjaku thing, yeah, there's just no resolution. Yuji's literal mother just gets no development at all. We get nothing with the reason on why he is the way he is. What is his purpose? I mean, we get why he is his purpose, but there's just no relationship with Kinjaku. But let's just get into the chapter. I'll save it for the end, but let's get into it. So it pretty much picks up with the last chapter, you know, them on their mission and carrying on, trying to find a stalker, cursed user, or cursed spirit manipulator, or whatever he does. You know, he messes with illusions basically. So they're doing the whole thing, they're trying to track him down. We really get to see Megumi's skills shine, and even the demon dolls get a little buff. Like, dude, this thing is massive. Like, Christ, this is a dire wolf at this point. Moving past that, they talk about different plans and ways on going about it. They talk about the hostess and things of that nature, trying to find a way to get her little cursed stalker to come out of the woodworks. Of course, their plan is basically, you know, weed and wait. Basically waiting it out, waiting the situation out, trying to feel the best way to go about the situation. And it goes pretty well, basically. It goes pretty well. It goes exactly how you think it's gonna go. You know, with Megumi, Nobara, and Yuji basically playing to their strengths, playing out different scenarios in their head before they even meet the guy. And honestly, I think they might be overthinking it because the dude isn't really going about it in the most complex way. And you'll see what I mean in a second. They're doing this whole thing, they're doing this whole cat and mouse thing where they're going about it. Like, bro, they're like me trying to find a mouse in my house. Like, bro, over planning for no reason when it really is that simple. Set a trap and wait. And that's exactly what they did. They set out their bait on the hook and they waited for something to pull on it. And that is exactly what happened. And honestly, I think the most wholesome fucking obligatory Gojo cameo happens at the very end. And I can't even lie. And yes, my Gojo hatred is still there. Even in this final chapter, I will hate this man to the bitter end, and y'all gonna deal with it. If you don't like it, Gojo fans, suck his blindfold, because I do not care. Moving on. So yeah, they have this little conversation, and they get into the nitty gritty onto, you know, Gojo's last words, and that's really what I want to break into. So today's shout out goes out to Sammy Lawrence, and good to see you again, man. And it goes as follows. So we ending on side quests. Honestly, I don't mind it. I kind of like it. I do want to talk about Sukuna's last words. This one I do find more interesting. He's talking to Mahito of all people. I guess they're in like purgatory or the crossroads of cursed spirits or whatever. Their whole conversation, you know, and you know, Udarame's there, you know, to give his condolences, I think, his final goodbyes to the king of curses, my glorious king, the goat, the hymnody of him, the hymn of villains, the best villain. Yes, I don't give a shit that he's too strong. That's what a villain is supposed to be, strong. He's supposed to challenge the foes. If y'all don't like that in the character, then cry about it. Moving on. Yeah, he's talking to Mahito. Surprisingly, Sukuna has a change of heart. Slightly. He talks about how, he could have gone a different path, and he chose the path he chose, and he chose to go through it to the bitter end. And Mahito tried to have a little, you know, gotcha moment, this little heart to heart, and it doesn't work on my glorious king. It just doesn't work. He's just like, whatever, man. And then we get into the whole Yuji thing. I know this is slightly out of order. It's been like that for the past 2 reviews now. Honestly, I don't care. I'm talking about the parts that are important to me. And then, of course, I want to save Gojo for last, because, you know, I got to give him some respect. So they talk about it with, you know, the guy who they caught. Yeah, they caught him, by the way. Like I said, it was a pretty cut and dry mission. With their level right now, this level, this mission, this should go over this fast. Honestly, they're a little bit over leveled for this. But moving past it, yeah, he's having a conversation, and this is the one thing I like about Yuji. He's such a cool dude. Like, I know I'm gonna get a little real for a moment, but yeah, he talks to the guy, and he's like, you know, you admitted that you did wrong. You came clean about it. Now we can move forward. Honestly, when you get your head on straight, come with us on our next mission. I expect great things from you.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Literally, that's what stuck out to me. You know, I never script my videos, like, at all. So when I remember that word, when I remember his statement, it did kind of hit home to me. I just hate that it came out of Gojo's mouth first. Yeah. This chapter was amazing. I loved it. I loved even the little switch training flashback to Gojo. And yes, Gojo is officially dead. So you Gojo fans can shut up. Please stop crying, bro. Bro, this nigga not even real. I've never seen a group of fandom so pissed in my life since Itachi. Like, cry about it. Jesus Christ. But anyway, to wrap it up, bro, yeah, I'm gonna save it for a separate video, but I love this manga more than you guys will ever know. Well, I guess you're finna know in like a couple days. Other than that, I love this chapter. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a nice little wrap up to everything that happened in the Shibuya arc, the, you know, Senai district, whatever you want to call it. Everything about this was great. Personally, from the lighthearted tone, from the way the characters talk and bounce off each other yet again, you could feel that they really care for one another. You could feel that everything they fought for was worth it just so they could see each other again. And I can't get mad at that. But anyway, I'm gonna save it for the next video. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace. You know, personally, if you feel that way, I really can't get mad at you. At the end of the day, you're gonna think the way you want about it and about my channel. It's cool. Personally, it's cool. It's not true at all. I've made several videos just not critiquing everything, or excuse me, hating on everything. And I've made videos defending certain other things. I even made a video dedicated to Akira Toriyama and Dragon Ball at the time of his passing. But other than that, excuse me, carry on. Peace.
A few minutes later.
When Jesus heard it, he saith unto them, they that are whole have no need of the physician, but they are sick. I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. Mark 2:17. So, Ryomen Sukuna. I think I need to get this out of the way right now. Sukuna is the best villain of all of shonen. Yes, I understand there are other shonens. I understand that is a very high bar to set, and I can understand how some people could have contention with that. I already can hear the comments now. He's too strong. His reign went on for too long. Well, I don't think so. I personally disagree. I think from the beginning to end, from the very beginning of the manga, the very first chapter's name was literally Sukuna. The way the villains measure their power is using Sukuna's fingers. The very way the world is even stated in Jujutsu Kaisen because of Ryomen Sukuna. He is not only seen as a deity, the world and in the eyes of sorcerers long since past and present and future. He has a legacy that goes down in history as the greatest sorcerer of all time. And I think the way they characterize that, especially towards the end of the manga, is perfection. I think personally, the way it ended, the way it conveyed Sukuna's strength and presence within the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, is phenomenal. It was perfect. I haven't seen a character like this since Madara, and he even surpassed my expectations when it came to a villain. I never thought a villain could have me so hooked in a long time. Personally, even though I disagree with everything that Sukuna stands for, I can't help but to be enthralled by his pull. Can't help but to feel his intensity when he is on screen or on panel. You feel every scene he's in, everything he does moves the plot forward. Every single step he takes, every calculated and cold move he makes matters to the overall character and cast of everyone involved with him. And you feel that and you experience that with the characters in the roles. Whether it be Itadori, whether it be Gojo, whether it be Megami, whoever is involved with Sukuna in any way, shape, or form, you feel it. You can understand why people take him as serious as they do, even when they aren't even weaker than him, as seen in the earlier seasons of Jujutsu Kaisen and the earlier chapters, where some curses actually had more curse energy than he did. Yet for some reason, they never stepped to Sukuna because his sheer intensity, his sheer aura, if you will, was just that prevalent. I think the problem that people have with Sukuna isn't the fact that he's too overpowered. It isn't even the fact he's try hard or he does too much or he's just flamboyantly evil. I think the problem is people just can't understand what his character means for the story of Jujutsu Kaisen. He is the big bad. He is the final boss. And I already can understand. And me personally, I had my issues with Sukuna, mainly with the fact that Kinjaku just got sidelined as far as being an antagonist, and he was pretty much hand waved away with really no reconciliation whatsoever on the part of Yuji and Kinjaku having some version of closure. I can understand that. That is a fine critique to have. But in my opinion, I think what we got in its stead was way better. You see the characters in Jujutsu Kaisen tested when Sukuna comes out. When Sukuna deals with the characters, everyone's limits are tested. Everyone as a sorcerer has no choice but to progress or fall to his might. And I think the way they convey that is perfect. There's no ass pulls. There is no random last second power up. There is no reasoning with Sukuna. If he loses, it's because it's either part of its plan, because they had dumb luck on their side. Shout out to Urarame. Personally, the way he went out It was the only way he could go out. Using Yuji's specific abilities and accumulated curse techniques over the past few chapters were literally the only way to stop him. He was quite literally born to stop Sukuna. And maybe that was Kinjaku's plan. Maybe, just maybe, Kinjaku planned on dealing with Sukuna with Yuji. Now, this is headcanon as hell, but honestly, it does make sense. It really does. When you look at the role that Yuji has, when you look at the character of Yuji Itadori himself, you can kind of see how they would come to that realization, or at least how I'm able to come to that realization. And maybe you have too. At the end of the day, I think Sukuna as a character, as a antagonist, as a villain, first and foremost, is wonderful. Even when he wins, you hate to see it. When he loses, you hate to see it. He's just a character on screen that you just love to see on screen, whether it be torturing Yuji or just existing to give more lore. I say all that to say, I think one of my favorite scenes of Sukuna was in the Shibuya arc. Honestly, it had to be the most intense realization of what Sukuna is actually to the other characters, to the overall people who have to live in a world where Sukuna exists. He is intensity. He is, in every sense of the word, threatening. And it's a threat that you will not be able to overcome unless you literally have God on your side. There is nothing you can do to stop Sukuna from getting exactly what he wants. He does what he wants and he commands respect whether you want to or not. Jogo's body literally moved on its own when it came to glazing my glorious King Sukuna. Had no choice. It's either do this or die. One wrong move and it's the end for you. There's nothing you could do to escape that. You are at the mercy of the King of Curses and everyone knows that. I think that's the best part about it. You don't feel such a presence with other villains in shonen. You just don't. No one does it like Sukuna does. Sure, you have your Aizens that come close and even your Madaras, but they're only just coming close. They aren't Sukuna. They are not the King of Curses. They are not Ryomen Sukuna. Anyway, that was a lot of glaze for this video. I'm sorry, but I just had to literally just make a point to just let y'all know, yeah, he's built different. He just is. And like literally nothing I said was untrue. Like even if you don't like what I had to say, come on out. It's Sukuna. He got that. He got that. Anyway, this is a little video. I just wanted to give my take on Sukuna. One final glaze session for the King of Curses. I'm gonna see y'all later though. Peace.
6.5 hours later.
So you already know how this goes. First we're gonna get into the shout out and then we're gonna get into the Bible verse and then the main video. So our comment comes from, obviously this is Joshua. Obviously we did a video together. Hi, how are you? So your comment goes as follows. I hate the arms. GT did it better. I'm assuming that's what you meant by this comment. But yeah. My I don't know. I disagree personally. Like I feel like the big arms are like the best part of the form overall. And also it has a functional reason for being that. It leads into the monkey aesthetic and on top of the fact that yeah, he literally uses it in battle. And I like the way they implement that in Daima personally. And then you say in the comments, oh, because it turned into a thread. The comment literally said, oh, so did the old arms. The old arms had no real functional reason at all to exist. And on top of the fact that it was just Goku's regular arm span. And again, there was no real, like for the most part, like Super Saiyan 4 was just cosmetic in GT, you know what I mean? It had no real like functional like reason and overall like body parts.
A few minutes later.
But yeah, no, that's just my take on the situation. But like, no, disagree, but you know, always defend the channel. Peace. This went on for some time now. I don't know why. Right, and now our Bible verse of the video goes as follows in John 17:18. Let's begin. As thou hast sent me into the world, even so have I also sent them into the world. Again, that's John 17:18. Now let's get into the main video. Let's get into it. I feel as though Kinjaku is an interesting case. I think for the most part, Kinjaku is one of the most interesting characters in JJK. And I say that because, like, for example, most of the events that happen is because of Kinjaku. He's been behind the scenes, he's been front and center, he has been all over the place when it comes to just his overall relevance in the story of Jujutsu Kaisen. As a fan who's read JJK, and like this is one of the few manga I've read front to back all the way through multiple times, and especially as it was coming out. Let me just say that. especially as it came out, because like there's a certain experience you get from that on a weekly basis, and like even the community of JJK was fascinating to be a part of. The conversation, all of the above. Personally, it's a fandom that I've honestly enjoyed more than sometimes at some points, even the Dragon Ball fandom. I know this is a random tangent in the video, but I just want to set the stage for what I'm going to be talking about here. I think overall, for the most part, Kinjaku itself, or himself, whatever you want to call him, he is an interesting character because the plot does not care for him, even though at the same time, the plot literally services him. Or to word it better, he services the plot in spite of that. Like literally, he services the plot in spite of even the fact that the plot doesn't service him. It's a very interesting experience that I have to talk about. I think one of the most interesting parts of Kinjaku is just like how he is relevant to Yuji. And I think that's the biggest point of this video. It's so relevant to the main character of the story, and for some reason, the story itself hates him. Like, prime example, right? The way his demise was depicted. Most people thought, since it was so sudden and since it was so brushed aside, you would think that, oh, nah, he's totally still alive. But no. That was the end of Kinjaku. Death via sneak attack. Again, one of the most relevant to the main characters ever as far as a character and overall relevance in the story. It's offed by a sneak tactic. Not only is that almost a complete disrespect to the character, on top of the fact that, dude, nothing was resolved with Kinjaku. It was just kind of just left there. And they were led to believe that like, oh, anything that happens at this point is still a part of his master plan, when no, this was honestly, it felt like a way for Gege to just like make something very much like, oh, anyone can get it at any point. It felt like he was trying to play to the meme of his own series more than anything else. It's like, yeah, no, it felt like he literally just did it just to stir up drama. Because like, especially when everything was all said and done right after that. Because again, nothing about Kinjaku, nothing even close to relevance to Yuji or even just to the story itself was shown with him after that. And it was really annoying to see that. Because I'm just like, we expected so much more from the end of this great villain. And so they painting it out to see, you know, Gege and the people over there Shonen Jump. So I'm just like, no, what is happening here? Like this, it genuinely boggles the mind how disrespected he was towards the end of his run in the series. Like it was really kind of annoying to me personally. Like, keep in mind, I'm not even like the biggest Kinjaku fan. I just think that this was so blatant that I feel like no one's talking about it at all. And on top of the fact that, yeah, I think personally, with the level of power Kinjaku had, I feel as though he could have found a way to literally not only evade Yuta's strike, but on top of the fact that really just get him out of his way. Even if we don't want to argue, oh, we could have killed him, whatever, he had to sneak him. So clearly, I don't think Yuta was strong enough to really deal with Kinjaku head on, hence why they had to sneak him in the first place. I feel like if anyone was honest, they would admit that, but to each their own. Again, I just dislike how they did Kinjaku and how they packed him up. I'm not even mad that he went out in the way he did. I'm mad that throughout the story of him being around, he had such little impact and influence with Itadori. Besides indirect situations, obviously behind the scenes, we don't really get like too many face-to-face encounters with Yuji and his mother in question. And I think that's really just a problem in my opinion, because it really doesn't have to be that way, in my opinion, yet again. So I think for me, in general, the way they handled Kinjaku wasn't entirely the greatest. I don't think that they really did the best as far as like putting this character forth and exploring him in a thorough manner. Again, he is the creator of the main character. And I guess you could argue that like it was like a self-insert, but I disagree. Like just because of the way he handles this character, it's just, no. Like you could tell with certain characters who his favorite character is. You could tell the amount of favoritism he has for other characters and, you know, certain dislikes for others. And I have to say, thank you for showing Gojo's dead corpse to fanboys, because there was no way he was coming back after this. No, but seriously, Gojo fans, please tell me, how does it feel to know that the only bit of Gojo y'all got after this was literally relegated to flashbacks and seeing his dead corpse puppeted around by Yuta? That's gotta be a sting. Be honest, Gojo Blazers. How do y'all really feel about that in the comments? Like, you think after Yuta literally is puppeting the corpse of his teacher, you would understand that he's never coming back. Gojo's dead. Gojo's dead and gone. Get over it. The funniest part is, even when the new little like apology chapter came out, to add a little bit more, by the way, I've never seen this done in manga history until this point. Maybe there has been, maybe I haven't read enough manga, but this is crazy. I've never seen someone have to make an apology chapter after a lackluster ending to a series. I think that was hilarious in my opinion, but that's just me. Personally, I thought that was great. But yeah, even after all that, people still thought that Gojo was coming back. Okay, tangent number 2 out the way. Now let's get into the main video. Again, personally, bro, even after it was all said and done in the chapter, or the apology chapter, to be more blunt and honest with you, yeah, even that had basically nothing to do with Kinjaku. I just think that that's really weird, in my opinion. So yeah, I think to
A few minutes later.
to end this video off, personally, because this video is getting pretty long, I just genuinely wanted more when it came to like the conclusion of Kinjaku and Yuji's story together, at least as far as like just getting a conclusion in general. And it was just never done. No final words, no little bits and pieces of dialogue. And you could argue they did it similarly with Toji and Megumi, which fine, that's fair. I guess if you want to say that that's just his style of handling parental characters, then fine. But I, even in that case, I don't like it when they just do that either. I feel like Megumi should have had at least one last physical conversation with him, because it did kind of feel lackluster in that case because there was no resolution. But that's a conversation for a different day. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
Oh, hey. Hi, how are you? I bet you didn't think there was anything more after this, huh? I just want to wrap to you real quick, just, talk for a little bit. I just want to say, guys, like, this is going to be awesome. Like, the next few videos going to go crazy. Like, bro, I got the fucking compilation already in my head of, like, the entire Daima Slanders campaign I've been on for the past few minutes. I say minutes, but you know what I mean. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to shit on it. And the Invincible War video is coming. I already recorded it. It's in my files now. So that's coming. A lot of videos I want to touch on later on will be like a collab, hopefully. I don't want to put too much stock in it, but maybe we got one, guys. Anyway, I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Thanks, man. And yeah, you made it to this point of the video and you're still not subscribed, bro. Remember that. You might as well just hit the button, gang. Anyway, peace.